Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. So it is the middle of January. Here in the UK it's quite snowy, especially here in Scotland. We've had some snow this week. It means it's really cold, and sometimes when it's the beginning of the year and it's really cold and it's quite miserable and also all the stuff that's going on at the moment, it can be really hard to get motivated. So I hope you're all managing, and the main thing is that we're keeping safe and healthy. I thought that today we could talk about apple cider vinegar. Now, it's not something that I personally use, but I've got a bottle because what I am going to start doing is incorporating it into what I eat rather than using it for some of the reasons that I'll speak to you about. But how often when you start looking at health and wellness and supplements and things that can help you, things that can help to manage your healthy eating, sometimes it's skin conditions, some ailments, quite often apple cider vinegar comes up. So I thought we could have a little chat about what it is, why people use it, and I'm not going to say anything works, anything doesn't work, because the truth is I don't know. And you can always look at studies. What I would say is if you've read something, if a celeb or an influencer swears by something, then go and do your own research, because it's not a case that they might not be telling you the full story. It's just that everyone's different. So we're all made differently. We're all built differently. In the same way, when an influencer tells you that their 300-step skincare routine absolutely works and they're going to talk you through it, that might be fantastic for them, and that $2,000 worth of skincare might do the absolute trick for them. But your skin isn't their skin, and it's not just the skin externally, it's what's going on inside. You just need one difference and you won't get the same results. They might not have the same ailments as you, they might not have the same hormone balances as you. As you know, I talked about thyroid, talked about stress, what you eat, what you drink, your lifestyle, do you smoke, all these things. So bear in mind when we're talking about the apple cider vinegar, but likewise when anyone is talking to you about their exercise routine, their diet, their skincare, their makeup, how it sits on them, take it on board and listen to them. But you've got to remember that just because it does it for them doesn't mean that it's going to do it for you. I'm sure most of you already know that. It's just sometimes I watch videos and I watch them for relaxation, but I can't believe the depth of routine that some people have, and then they'll say, I found that this does this for my skin, I found it does this. There's so much involved, and there's a lot of price involved, and there's a lot of time, and there's a lot of dedication to these routines. And I can't help thinking that if somebody's desperate and maybe their skin is acting up, maybe they've got really bad acne or extreme dryness and it's really getting them down, my concern is that they believe that because it worked on one person, it'll work on them. Please do your research. Even if you can get samples or minis, or see if someone could buy you a product for your upcoming birthday, something like that. Just don't believe that you need hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of stuff. But I digress, but it does relate, because we're going to talk about the apple cider vinegar. Just because there are claims does not mean it will work for you. So always do your own research. But how many of us have seen things, either, as I say, celebs, influencers, sometimes it's online, it can be articles in magazines, and they'll say, oh, this person takes a shot of apple cider vinegar every day, or they take it diluted in a glass of water every day, and it really can help them, makes them feel good, makes them feel more vibrant, more alert, makes sure they don't overeat, controls their blood sugars, all these things. Does it really work? Well, the answer is a lot of the science, the jury's out. So that's basically what it boils down to. But a lot of people do swear by it, and so long as you don't have any contraindications or reason why you can't use it, you can definitely try for yourself. So don't jump on a bandwagon. Do your research. You can always go on Google, but again, when you're going on Google, just make sure that where you're getting the research from actually stacks up. And sometimes it's good to read articles that go against what you think, so you can actually read where it's coming from in a different point of view. So, apple cider vinegar, believe it or not, when you open it, smells like vinegar. There's a surprise. So it's made from fermented apple juice, and mostly we'll use it as a cooking ingredient, or people will use it to pickle. They might use it in dressings. And some people, like I was saying, they will use it as a health tonic. Now, they'll do that by maybe taking a tablespoon, a teaspoon. They might put that tablespoon into a large glass of water and drink it that way. I've done that before, and the water isn't unpleasant to drink. It's got that very mild vinegary taste. You do taste the apple, but you cannot deny it's more vinegary. But when it's in the water, it is manageable. But if you don't like vinegar, you're not going to suddenly find that water particularly easy to drink, but it can be done. So the benefits, again, that you have to take on board, the benefits will be argued back and forth by people who say, show me the evidence. So it has antibacterial properties. It's also naturally antimicrobial. Obviously, it's a preservative, so that's quite handy if you are going to use it to make your own pickles and make your own dressings. Many people say that it helps them to feel full, which is why they might take it every day so that they don't feel that they go on and snack and overeat, which can be quite an issue at the moment when you're not really able to go lots of different places. You will find that some people will do it again, it's not for weight loss as such, but some people say it helps them maintain their weight, and some people also feel that it helps them with the anti-inflammatory properties for things such as trigger finger or arthritis. But you'll get a lot of people saying that's not been proven and we don't know if that's a fact or not. So I would say that you've really got to see, I nearly said take that with a pinch of salt, but then that's a salt and vinegar joke, isn't it? I'm really sorry about that. Sometimes I've got to watch what I'm saying because I make myself laugh, and then I think, okay, Elaine, it's just you that's laughing, there's no one else laughing. But what you've got to remember is that too much of it could actually be an issue. So too much could interact with medications that you're on. It could affect your potassium, which means it could affect your blood pressure. So you've got to be careful with that. Some people will say that it can help acne. There's actually no evidence that it can. And if you were to use it just neatly on the skin, it could actually cause burns. So I wouldn't do that. But again, you can look at the research and you'll find that for yourself. Too much, or again, if you're sensitive, could upset your stomach, and it could also upset your digestion. As much as people say it helps, there might be some people that say it hinders. And then if people were drinking it neat or taking too much of it, it could affect your tooth enamel, and some people say it could burn your throat as well, again, because it's an acid. I had a friend at school who absolutely loved vinegar on everything, and this is going to sound so Scottish. She would have chips every lunchtime. You've got the option of all this lovely food, and she would have chips, and she would cover it in salt and vinegar, and then about an hour later she would be doubled over in agony because it was probably too acidic for her. And then when you think about it, I think later on she did have IBS, and that must have been agony. She must have really, really loved those chips and that salt and vinegar to put herself through that every day, but she did. I don't know what she's doing now. But people will do that. So if you did try apple cider vinegar, even if it was, again, just in a dressing, which is what my preference is, to actually use it in food, if something doesn't feel quite right after it, then bear in mind that maybe it's too acidic for you, maybe it doesn't sit with you, and that goes for everyone. That's what can happen. But Jamie Oliver said something that stuck with me a couple of years ago. And somebody said, again, it's not just a UK thing, but, you know, traditional chip shop takeaway fish and chips. And here in Scotland, they call it a chippy. And somebody said to him, you know, why do you think people love fish and chips? And they said, well, if you think about it, the chips have been deep fried in oil, and then you have salt and vinegar on them. And what happens when you mix salt, vinegar and oil? You create a dressing. So basically you're having these delicious fried chips in a dressing. And what's more delicious than that? And I thought, do you know what? He's right. So a lot of people might say they don't like dressings, they don't like vinaigrettes, but in actual fact, you are almost creating a vinaigrette when you have your takeaway, your fish and chips. So that really stuck with me because I thought, yeah, he's got a point. And what I would say is, for me, I don't really want to start taking shots of things every day. I have only been on thyroxine for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years now, and I don't feel that I've got any situations with it. I feel like it's agreeing with me. I don't really have any digestive issues, so that's not a problem. So I don't really feel that I need to be taking a shot of this every day. If I did, I would probably just be taking it to see what happened and why, but I don't really feel I'm looking for it to do anything. So for me, I am going to incorporate my apple cider vinegar into salads, and I'm going to use it to create a vinaigrette. And the reason why I like the idea of creating a vinaigrette is because there are health benefits associated with the ingredients that are in it. And what's the best way to keep yourself feeling healthy, feeling balanced? And again, the benefits of the nutrients and all the goodness that's in the vitamins, the minerals, it is obviously to ingest where possible. So if you were to make an easy vinaigrette, and again, you could use it on salads. If you really want to, you can use it on your takeaway, your chips. You would obviously take your apple cider vinegar. So when you're creating a vinaigrette, or a dressing, you can either shake it in a jar, you can whiz it up in a blender. I've got the Vitamix. You could whisk it with a fork or with obviously a whisk. You can do whatever you want until you basically get it nice and blended and emulsified, if you like. So you want to take your apple cider vinegar, and then here comes my advert for Asda. Add your olive oil. Now, it's up to you the mix that you do, because you might not want something to be too vinegary, or you might like it really vinegary. It's up to you. When I have salt and vinegar crisps, I love them. Now, I've said this before, sometimes it's a turn of phrase and I think, oh, is it just me? I like my salt and vinegar crisps to be so nippy that I almost feel that I want to clench my jaw. You know, when they're so nippy, they're so vinegary. I love that. Anyone in the UK, salt and vinegar discos, they're so nippy. I love it. So I would probably do about half and half roughly, but you can easily do maybe 1/3 vinegar to 2/3 oil. It's your choice. So that's your basic mix. Now, see, if you were doing a vinaigrette, you could just leave it at that. Or if you, now again, before I move on actually, so you're going to get your benefits there. And also with the olive oil, obviously you're going to get your benefits with your essential fatty acids. It's good for you. They always say with olive oil, it basically goes around your system, sort of whizzing through, collecting all the rubbish. I'm really simplifying this, but olive oil is great for basically giving everything a clear out. So not too much, because it's still a fat. And I did very, very simplify that. I do have my diet and nutrition qualification, but I love to simplify things that everyone can understand. Olive oil basically does whiz about collecting all the bad stuff, and it's basically good for you, but still a fat, still got calories, so watch what you're doing. So the two together would be absolutely fine. You could leave it there. Or you could add a little bit of honey. And again, with your honey, you're getting your essentials there too. That's very good for you. It's got but remember again, calorific, it's still sugar, but just maybe even a little teaspoon of honey, maybe even half a teaspoon if you wanted that sweetness. You could also add some mustard. I don't really like mustard, but maybe a little bit of Dijon, something very mild. You could add the mustard in. It's going to give a little warmth, balance things up. And then you could use your salt and your pepper to taste. Obviously, you're not going to put in the entire peppercorns and big chunks of sea salt, but a little bit. You can blitz it up. You can use the pestle and mortar if you want, or obviously just crack them in. Just use I forgot what you call it, the grinder. Yeah, I think that's... It's too late. It's Friday night. I can't remember half the things that I wanted to do today. I can't remember words. I'm sorry, it's January. The pepper mill, the salt grinder, the pepper mill. I got there. Excellent. So all you would do then is just shake this all up together, whiz it up, blend it, whisk it. It's your choice. And that could be a really nice vinaigrette, with the main ingredient being the benefits of the apple cider vinegar. And then that would keep for a few days in your fridge. Or you could just make it. I would prefer probably just to make it as I needed it, and then just go from there, because then it's really fresh. And then again, just a little bit on a salad, little bit on, again, your chips. That sounds so healthy, doesn't it? Sometimes if you're making pasta, just a little bit of vinaigrette on the pasta if you didn't actually feel like anything at all, and you can have it cold as a pasta salad. There's so many different things that you can do. But it shows you where my head's at, that it's January, I can't remember words, and I'm advising that you put your really healthy vinaigrette on chips. I'm sorry. I suppose we're all being the same. We're all in the same boat just now. So there you go, apple cider vinegar. So let me know if you use it, if you're a fan. Let me know if you feel that you get benefits from it. Again, maybe you feel that it's really one of those things where people talk about it, but you can't genuinely see the benefits, or you don't think that it's for you. I think we've got to be more inviting of different opinions. Sometimes we're online just now and it's a very much a case of if you don't agree with me, we can't talk. Of course we can. People can say, no, I think that's a load of rubbish, I don't like it. Say it in a respectful manner, have a discussion. There you go, no problem at all. So apple cider vinegar, I will definitely be using it this year on a variety of different salads, and I'll probably move from vinaigrettes and see where else I can incorporate it, but I'll start there. That's the simplest way to do it. So I hope that was interesting. It's certainly a little insight into where my head's at the moment. Takeaways, fried food, and let's be honest, as soon as we're done tonight, probably some Baileys and some chocolate. But everything in moderation. So have a lovely night, and I will see you again soon.